Oh, wasn't me. It was CJ again. I'm learning, CJ, to put my phone on vibrate. So,
Nah, I mean
but I
one
got the
time.
notification. Do what?
Nah, you got me one time.
But we are live, so welcome back to our next episode of Count the Bucket as we are getting live here. We are one man down. Nick, we are hoping everything out there in your area down in Florida is doing okay. We know with the hurricane going on through, Nick has told us that he is okay where he lives and some of his surrounding area is fine. They are without internet, some areas close to where he's at, so he's unable to join. He said he's going to try to at least join in on comments and such with his phone through that way, but he was unable to join us. So our hearts, thoughts, prayers, all that good stuff goes out to everyone down in Florida with the hurricane, of course, coming on with those. Didn't realize how many people, actually friends and family that had moved to Florida that didn't realize were down there. But, of course, I know, CJ, you probably know a few people down there as well. But wanted to just go into it. But how are we doing today, CJ? You've been doing all right. It's been a week since I've got to talk to you, and I miss you.
Hey man, likewise, brother. It's good to be chopping it up with you today. Yeah, again, same thing. Just want to reiterate the same thing. Prayers up to everybody down there going through the situation with the hurricane. So, yeah, just prayers up to everybody. Make sure everybody's good. Nick, get safe. Everything's good. Be back on next week. Chop it up and talk some moves, bro.
Oh. Since I've got to talk to you. Turn my volume down. So here I am trying to share the stuff, and I'll pull it up.
Nah, you get it. But yeah,
one thing I always try to do is I try to share with our Unwrapped Sports Network, everyone who's listening, what we're going on. When I look down at my phone, as soon as we start, I try to share in our chat that we're live and try to, get the word out that, one of our shows is going on live in our network and share it with everyone. So hopefully we can, get some people going in with all that. But, sometimes I fail to turn the volume down. I'm old. I'm 36. I'm going to tell you this. I had a girl at work today. There's an older gentleman that's working with me at Tractor Supply. He's part-time, and he's in his 50s. And I just made a comment about me being old. He said, how old are you? Because, you're not white-headed like I am. I said, well, I'm 36. He goes, wow, I wish I could be 36 again. And without missing a beat, she goes, wow, you're 10 years older than me. I was like, what's that supposed to mean? Is that good? Is that bad? She goes, no, I just thought you were a lot older than that. I was like, ouch, like that kind of hurt. Like, how old did you think I was? Like, I mean, I know I got some white and gray in my beard, but you know what? I don't look old, I don't think, but hurt my heart a little bit. CJ, they rag on me a little bit about my age. And of course, I'm not very smart on when it comes to this technology and stuff, but I mean, how do we get through this stuff? How old are you?
I'm 28. Just keep being yourself. Always. Doesn't really matter what other people think. As long as you care about their opinion, then you take heed to what they think. But man, just keep being yourself, and that's it, man. Like,
there we go.
All that other stuff is irrelevant.
I appreciate that. Because you know what? At the end of the day, I'm only me anyways, and the only people I got to make happy is my wife and kids. So as long as they're happy, we're happy. We're all good. Ooh, you know what? I like that right there. So with today's episode, which if you haven't checked it out, we are, I think, 3 weeks into this now. In our previews, what we got going on, we started out with the Atlantic coast, and then we did Southeast and Central. No, this is the 4th week, ain't it?
Right.
That's okay, nice. So if you've missed those episodes with our viewers right now, and of course you guys listen on podcasts later, those episodes are onto the podcast. I was a little late getting them on, but they are on there now. Go check those out. I did put into some of the description CJ won MVP for the character of our last episode we did. It was just a lot of fun content we had on that episode. Go check those out. And of course, again, that's on podcasts. That's with Spotify, iHeartRadio. What else are there? What are all the podcasts? What else?
Stitcher, Google Podcasts.
Google Pod, yes. And all those, just pretty much anything with that. And, of course, you can follow us on Twitter. We're here with my name if you're watching. Count Bucket USN. All of our stuff's posted there as well. And, of course, Unwrapped Sports Network. how we were all founded here. So pretty much anything on our YouTube channel is posted through there, through Count the Bucket, our stuff, but everything with Unwrapped Sports Network. We have a YouTube page with Unwrapped Sports Network. You can follow all that stuff as well. So on this episode, in our preview for today, we will be doing the Southwestern division. And, I'm kind of excited about this division a little bit too. I probably got a small, I'm going to say a dark horse that is starting to catch on a little bit. I've talked a little bit during the summer leagues how high I was on him, and I'm starting to see a lot of people on Twitter talking about him. And I don't know if you might know who I'm talking about, but we'll wait till we get in there and see if you know who I'm talking about. But he is a rookie. I'll at least say that. And our conversation before show may help you out of the game that I was trying to watch. May give you a little more of a hint who I'm talking about here, but we'll leave it at that. What's up, Rob? If we got him in our comment, the most mysterious division in basketball. I agree. This division, just so everyone knows, it's got Houston Rockets, it's got the Spurs, it's got
the Pelicans, the
Mavericks,
and the Grizzlies.
Grizzlies.
Yes, sir.
So, really a very young division on this. We kind of talked a little bit about how the Pistons' future last episode of how it's set in stone, basically who they're going to have for the next 2 to 3 years, even with that with the Cavaliers and how young they are. But really, this division is almost the same way. I won't say they have some of the younger veteran players that are going to be set on this that are in for 2 or 3 years, like the Cavs and all that. So, yeah, it should be interesting to see what we got going on. Rob, again, saying the Pelicans are the team to watch out here for. Rob, if you've been watching the show for a while, I've been saying the Pelicans are going to be in the Western Finals just to aggravate Nick a little bit. I don't really think they're going to go that far. Ending the season, I have them probably around 3 or 4, maybe 4 more solid answer. But I'm really high on them. I'm looking for my card. I've actually got him in my case. Of course, my PSA 10 of Zion Williamson. But, actually, Rob, you were in the auction or in the chat that I actually bought that on. But you know what? He looks skinny now. Have you seen some of the before and afters on that, CJ?
Yeah. You want to go right to the Pelicans or?
Well, I was just going to talk about Zion, but on that little bit.
Have
you seen that?
Yeah.
Is that one of your picture? That's probably your picture you got to pull up, ain't it?
I saw his media day. What happened?
I said, is that the picture you're going to pull up?
Oh, the graphic. I didn't know if that was because sometimes people with the Photoshop, so I wasn't trying to put that on the on the platform. But I saw his interview at media day. Okay. Yeah, it looks to be in shape, man, which is great. It's great that he's locking in. He understands the importance of this season. He just got the mega deal, the rookie extension, and really missed the whole year. Really missed all last year. So the Pelicans are banking on him to be available, be healthy. So yeah, I'm glad he's taking it serious. And like I said, when he's on the court, we know the type of production that he brings, and I think it's a perfect fit for what the Pelicans have right now.
Do you just want to go ahead and start with them? We kind of
sure, yeah.
So, we'll go ahead. I'm just going to bring up as a header, of course, the New Orleans Patriots. Wow, what am I doing? Pelicans here. Of course, they brought in a trade with C.J. McCollum from the Portland last year midseason, and then they extended him for X amount of years. I'm not for sure how many years it was. I'm horrible at that part of it. But, now they've got a nice solid trio. And so this team is young and set in a way. So didn't they sign on Steven Adams? Didn't they sign him for an extension as well?
No, that's the Grizzlies.
Grizzlies signed him. Okay.
Re-signed Steven Adams. I know the Pelicans.
They had Valanciunas, didn't they?
Pelicans, they do have Jonas Valanciunas, and I think they just signed a deal with Larry Nance, I believe.
Okay.
Larry Nance.
So yeah, what are you expecting from this team? It's a long season. That's real reason why I'm worried about Zion and the depth. Of course, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, they're an exciting team. I was definitely high on them towards the end of the year. They played really well. They persevered from the start of the season, the record that they had, and the way they were struggling. Once those guys got healthy, really bought into what Willie Green was preaching, and they went out there and played up. And then the big deal getting CJ McCollum. You get a veteran like that, a guy who's had big time moments in the playoffs, dropped 30+ games in the playoffs, been to the Western Conference Finals. So he has that. He brings that experience to a younger team. BI gets his opportunity to be in the playoffs for the first time in his career, averages 30. So I think there was definitely some lessons learned in this first season under Willie Green, and obviously the big move and the big chess piece is Zion and his health and his status throughout the whole entire year. Rob made a good point talking about in reference to his health and everything he has going on, and I agree with that. But if he can stay healthy, they're going to be one of the best teams in the NBA.
I'm going to shout out. I'm sorry, I thought you was done there. Go ahead, keep on.
No, I say with their defense, they got to buy in defensively. They have a really nice lineup. You got McCollum, B.I., Herb Jones, Zion, and Valanciunas. I mean, I feel like you have a lot of versatility in that lineup, spacing, passing ability, slashing, defense. It's a good lineup. So
absolutely.
You got 3 guys that can score 30. And then Valanciunas honestly scored 30 in this league as well. Multiple rebounds. So it could be a good lineup, but they just got to stay healthy, and I think they're going to be really good. And like Rob said, you got Alvarado off the bench. Trey Murphy is really improved. We'll see. They got
Devontae Graham too.
Devontae Graham, I believe, is still there. They got Dyson Daniels, the rookie that they drafted. Let's see if he's able to get some minutes in this lineup now, as he continues to grow, and eventually he could be the starting point guard for that team. He's still young, 18, 19 years old. If he could develop and really show some spurts, I think that'd be great for them as well.
Just want to shout out real quick. No trade clause. Again, our guy, Aaron Washington, that's been on the show with us a few times. Him and some of his guys producing this here, as you can see, powered by the business classroom, one of his classes that he's been taking. They started this, and they've actually just kept pushing it on. They actually went to the summer league this year and went out and did some interviews as well. I love the content that they got here, but I was just looking, you're talking about Jose down here, and look at the minutes that he played last year during the playoff time, and look at the salary. I mean, $1.5 next year, $1.5 million. I mean, that is awesome. And of course, CJ, go ahead.
It's just a want-to. It's just a want-to to play, make an impact right away. Not really caring about how much you make, just making sure you want to get on the court and live out your dream. And that's exactly what he's done. From New York, from a small school, was able to get on a team like the Pelicans. They took a chance on him, and he's making the most of his opportunity. And he did a great job last year in his rookie season. So now he has opportunity to go into year 2 with a lot of confidence. Again, with bringing a big time player back, so it should open up some easier shots for him as well in terms of a spacing standpoint.
And what's even great looking at this is, Zion, you have until 28, 29. If, of course, there's a trade of some sort that goes on, but Zion's not being traded. I'm just throwing that out there. CJ, you have signed now through 26-27 season. You've got Brandon Ingram signed through the 25-26. So really this core 3 of that, you've got for another 4 seasons basically, with Valanciunas right there 1 year out of that. I think Valanciunas, if this team does good this upcoming year, 2 years here, Valanciunas would be an easy guy that I think would want to stay with this team and sign back. And, of course, Larry Nance Jr., here for this year and next year might be another person, a veteran that you want to add in on that. So, I mean, Zion, this is just his 3rd year playing. Of course, he's very young. You got B.I. only at 6 years in. Now, CJ, 9 years with a lot of health issues. If he can stay healthy himself, I think this team is very, very good. A lot of these younger players need to step up and make more of a bench. We know Devontae Graham can score if he gets the opportunity. Can he be, I'm going to say, like a X factor off of this team, because you know what you're going to get from Ingram, McCollum, and Zion if he's healthy. Valanciunas should be scoring a double-double easily with a few assists with his team as well. So, I mean, it's going to be those 7, 8 guys. What are they going to be producing for them? How far will they go in there? Kind of like the Livingston of the Golden State, who's going to be that second unit team that takes over and gets the points. The Tyler Hero of the team, if you will. So that's what's going to be, I'm going to say the X factor, or take them the farthest in this unit, I think. So that's what I look for on them. I think the sky is the limit for this team. I'm really excited about the Pelicans. I wish Nick was going to be in here because I'd be more charismatic about it and be like, wow, so high and all this. But I have to be a little dialed back because it's just you and me. I can't really be too far-fetched on this. But, I feel like I keep saying the same thing every time we talk about a team. But this is kind of going to be for the next episode, I think, is, wow, look at the future they have going, kind of an ongoing thing. I won't say beating a horse while it's a dead horse because – that doesn't make sense in this scenario, but we're going to be pretty redundant in that statement, I think, as we talk about this episode here with a lot of our teams here. Then maybe not when we get into the Grizzlies. Well, I think still in a way on that. So, do you got an idea, maybe a record or just an estimate? I think they're going to be a 50-team win, a 50-win team.
50-win team.
And I'm going to say that may be a bit high because West is pretty good, but I think 50 is doable.
Yeah, 50 is I mean, listen, they're gonna have to really lock in, and it's just tough for me to see 50. I think max potential they got, if all those guys stay healthy and they start clicking early, very possible. Very possible. But if not, I could see them, still be able to make it to the playoffs, but maybe not getting to 50. For certain reasons, obviously. But again, this is a young team, exciting team. I'm excited to see what they bring to the table.
Let's see here. What was their record last year? They were 36-46 last year. So, I mean, that would be a big jump. But once they got CJ on their team.
Well, I mean, does Zion make you 14 wins better? And I think the answer to that is yes.
Okay. I was hoping to say yes, but I was like, man, that's a lot of wins. I don't know if I can debate this or not.
Listen, he's your number one draft pick. He's your number one option. He's your
because
all-star.
That's him with CJ as well, because they've not played together either.
Right. So Zion should be 14 wins plus 14 wins because he didn't play the whole entire year. So you can look at that. You can look at their season with no Zion and be like, yo, is Zion 14 wins? Can Zion get us 14 wins to get us to 50 wins if we all stay up? Yeah, and then plus you got to take into consideration their record pre-CJ McCollum, post-CJ McCollum.
Right.
As well. So, those are just a lot of factors, Willie Green could look at in terms of making lineups and things. It's a good thing. It's a good problem to have, but it's going to come down to the chemistry, how well they play at the beginning. So, I like this team. I'm a fan of the team. I've been a fan since Zion's been drafted. I thought they had a pretty solid core when they had Drew Holiday and Lonzo. They kind of moved off that in a couple of years, and now they built something else. And I think this is better. And I think they've done a great job really capitalizing off that Anthony Davis trade, using the draft picks that they acquired as, sign veterans, but still have flexibility from draft pick standpoint. You got your two young guys, your two young cornerstone pieces. And maybe a third with Herb Jones, someone like that could really come on later on, with his upside and his potential defensively. We could see if it could translate over offensively as well. So this could be a really scary team down the road. And I'm a fan, and I think they're going to do some good things. But this year, I think it's really just about being on the court for everybody.
Being available. Definitely. I'm really glad you used the word you're a fan, because I say that a lot, and I get slack on it from some of the guys with Unwrapped. They're like, well, you're a fan for everybody. Because, I've got a few football related anyways. I've got a Cleveland Brown. It's a bandana because, Tim Couch back in my day, he played for Cleveland, first overall pick. But he is actually he lived 40 minutes away from where I live. So, I mean, it's kind of close, and then I'm a Dallas fan, and then I've got other teams that I like a little bit, like a fan of, like I respect them. Like my team is Dallas.
You're a football fan. You're
exactly.
You're a football fan, but your favorite team is the Cowboys. Like, I don't understand.
Exactly.
That.
And
People try to make it so difficult, and it's not that difficult.
Yeah, like in the NBA, my team is really Miami, but I'm a fan of other players that are on teams. Like, I mean, I like the Suns too, but like if I had to say what one team would I choose to cheer for over every team, it would be Miami. But, you know, maybe the Suns now because they're been pretty good too. But especially if Shaq buys them. But
Suns, I mean, a lot of people laughing at them this weekend, but you know, I don't make too much of it.
No. I mean,
yes and no, because then I look at the DeAndre Ayton comments about Monty Williams, and I know this is not the Southwest, but this is definitely some NBA news that I'm sure you guys want us to talk about and dive into. But yeah, the DeAndre Ayton Monty Williams situation is definitely something to be looking at. I mean, to start the season, those guys really haven't had any type of communication. Communication is very key in life. So, you know, let alone your job. If you don't have great communication with, I guess you could consider a coach a supervisor in terms of a player in comparison to a player. Their boss is obviously the owner. So,
and it's been weird to me too because Monte doesn't seem like the person that would, I'm going to use the word shun any player or not talk to any player, you know, like it's weird that he's not talking to him, you know, like, you know, this guy is like over and beyond such a nice character guy that I don't understand why there's not a relationship here. Like, you know, everywhere he's been the good guy, a good relationship person. And it's weird that it's not going on here. Of course, there's been rumors that if Ayton isn't happy by the season starts, that there may be a trade possibly. I don't know if you heard this with Vucevic, that might be a swap of big players, which I think would be good for the Suns because Vucevic would be a more fit as far as a pick and pop screener with Chris Paul. But I know Vucevic is not a true big man, so who knows how that would work.
Yeah, so that's my first time hearing about that Vucevic swap. That's my first time hearing about that. So,
well, I'm sure it wouldn't just be a swap. I can't remember what else was involved with it, but it was that they were interested in Vucevic pretty hard.
No, I got you. So that's I don't know if that's a great deal, honestly, because remember, Ayton is 23 years old,
right?
24 years old. Vucevic is, you know, on the 30, closer to 30, or might be 30 already. So I don't know. I just feel like there just needs to be a conversation be had, kind of similar again with the Nets and with KD. You know, they just had conversations throughout the offseason to the point where they're like, okay, we're going to give this another year and see how this plays out. Nothing wrong with talking through things. I think everybody's so quick to be like, trade this man, trade him, get him out of here, trade. And I think we get caught up in I think we get caught up in that. And I feel like a conversation sometimes could really go a long way. It's on both ends. In both ends, put the egos aside and be like, "What's your problem? Like, what's going on? Tell me what you thinking about. I'll let you know what I'm thinking about, and we can see if we can come to some type of compromise." That's how business works, you know. So,
and it's weird too, because I mean,
especially when all these people are making so much money, it's like, you know, that's why a lot of people don't really want to hear some of these problems, you know, on the outside, you know, some of these older, you know, whatever, you know, however demographic you want to point them in, they don't want to hear some of these problems because people are really going through this stuff every single day. So yeah, I mean, it's just like for the Ayton thing, just talk to him, just talk to him, like, what's up, like, what's going on? I felt this way about this. Let me know. And then we'll see if we can move on. If we can't move on, then you make a move. But if you can move on, that's great. It's betterment for the team. I feel like Ayton should get the ball more. I feel like he doesn't get the ball enough. He only gets 12 shot attempts a game. That was something I was going to talk about once we got into their division, but it's all right. I'll bring it up again because I think it's a big deal. Right. He's only get 12 shot attempts a game. That's not enough.
Now, I like talking X's and O's with you.
57%.
Right. But Do you think he needs to get the ball with his back to the goal more, like in isolations? Because a lot of times when he gets those balls with these 57%, is Chris Paul is feeding him perfect passes off of a pick and roll where he doesn't really have to do a move or decide.
Yeah, but he can make those moves too. Like at Arizona, he was making moves off the face up. That's why he went number one. Like, remember, this guy went number one. Like, it's not like he was just like,
I'm with you, but I'm just wanting to know on there.
He had the face up game at Arizona. He shows it in spurts, but he should not be only averaging 12 shot attempts. He should be around 18, 19. You're telling me in a whole entire 48-minute ball game, your second or maybe third best player should be second best player, only gets 12 shot attempts a game? That's crazy to me. That doesn't make any sense. So what's going on with Monty Williams and him and their relationship? I don't know, but in terms of play calling, it can't be just Chris Paul pick and pop. That should be, okay, a play, but that shouldn't be the only play.
Right. So, and I'm with you too, because there's a whole offense that can actually run through.
Yeah, they can run post game. Yeah, when Booker's out, you can run a whole different style of offense with Ayton in there.
I mean, even with Booker in too.
Yeah, but I'm saying you can alternate it and have more different type of complex offenses.
Right, because I mean, honestly, I think Booker and Ayton would be a Shaq and Kobe type offense. You know, feeding Shaq and Kobe going in.
That's tough. I can't go there with you.
I'm not saying they would be of that caliber. I'm just saying the offensive scheme.
You start bringing up those two names, I really
I'm not
losing me, man.
When I say names, I'm not saying they're that caliber player. I'm just saying that's the style that they would be playing like. You know,
I don't even
Booker
know
can take over, and Ayton can take over somewhat.
Here's my thing, and I never really got to really say this like on record about this situation. Listen, Kobe is one of Booker's his own guy. This is not a reference to you. This is just in general to that whole conversation, that whole topic that was talked about a couple years ago. They're different. Kobe is nobody's ever going to be Kobe.
No, there's never Booker is nowhere near Kobe.
Ayton, not even close to Shaq.
No, Shaq.
So I don't know. So it's tough for me to say system, and because Ayton doesn't even, again, Ayton's only getting 12 shot attempts a game.
I don't even think Ayton has the footwork
number one
close
pick
to Shaq.
It's not even that he doesn't have the type of footwork, but he could score though.
Mm-hmm.
He could score with the footwork that he does have right now. So for him to only getting 12 shot attempts, that's only 3 attempts a quarter for his second best player. That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, if you put it like that,
terrible.
yeah,
that's terrible. You're only getting 3 shot attempts, and you probably he's averaging like what? Got to be like
probably 20 to 30 minutes. Yeah,
I think DeAndre Ayton's only averaging 20 minutes. No, he's averaging like
I would say 30, but I was just saying like 20 to 30 minutes, more than 30, like 25 to 30, really. But
exactly. So the 12 shot attempts on 30 plus.
So basically, a shot every what? Every 3 minutes a shot.
A couple minutes, yeah, man. It's just not good. It's not good enough. So they need to figure that out over there.
Wow.
Yeah, we got some preseason.
We're in the wrong division right now, but we need to talk about
we're just covering some NBA stuff. We got some preseason as well. The Golden State Warriors, they were playing in Japan against the Wizards. They had a little double basketball classic, 2 games there. Curry, they look great. Poole looked good. Clay didn't play at all. Draymond was knocking down some threes. That was good to see. Love to see him working on his game. Just not staying complacent, add some different stuff to your game. If you become a floor spacer, you look what that does to that team. So that was good to see in those games. Curry obviously is going to be Curry, knocking down big shots. One of the greatest we've ever seen, obviously.
Of course,
for the Wizards, the Wizards, Rui Hachimura. If he plays like this, the way he played in these 2 games, he looked good. If he could play like that and for the Wizards and throughout the regular season, you got a good player. But I don't know what happened. I mean, this is year 4 now or year 3, so we're waiting on him to really kick up.
What do you think? And we'll get back on the division here, but what about that Rockets game? I didn't get to watch any of the games. I'm just looking at highlight or the scores right here from yesterday. Spurs 96, Rockets 134.
Rockets got some young players, man. Tari Eason, Jabari Smith. Josh Christopher, Jalen Green. So they got some really talented guys, and I really feel like again,
Which I guess we'll get into the Rockets, won't we?
yeah, we're gonna into the Rockets, um, and they have young talent, but now it's just about developing good habits now.
Mm-hmm.
If you got young talent developing good habits down the road, that's going to pay off into a those are the building blocks of a potential dynastic
Mm-hmm.
type of thing you could be building. If you have two or three young players that you see have talent
Good
to be really
Lord.
good.
They shot 16 of 35 3-pointers. Wow. But then the Spurs shot 42 3-pointers. Like, it is blowing my mind how many 3-pointers are being shot in a game anymore.
Yeah. And then the thing for me is like all these 3 points are being shot up, but these big men are not rebounding a lot.
Yeah.
So it's weird. So all these missed shots, but the bigs aren't averaging 12, can't get 10 rebounds a game. Like if you're averaging 30 minutes a game and you're a power forward, you should be averaging 10 rebounds a game. There should be no issue with the amount of shots that I put up. Again, like I said, back in the day, these guys were averaging 10, 15 rebounds, and they were all in the paint.
Mm-hmm. Of course,
Now the spacing's
I will say there's a little bit longer rebounds too with the longer shots.
yeah, it's a longer rebounds and longer shots, but again, when it's your job to rebound the ball, when you're 6'9" and above, now
Mm-hmm.
6'7" and above. Now these guys get tall, and they're able to get their abilities, quicker. I need at least 12 rebounds.
On the
Easy.
Rockets, there was only one person with 10 or more rebounds. It was Eason.
Yeah.
Spurs.
That's gonna to me.
Oh,
That's gonna come with coaching. That's gonna come with coaching.
let's see.
That's gonna come with coaching, man.
Well, you want to go ahead and stay with the Rockets since we're kind of
Yeah,
in that conversation?
yeah. Let's go. I just feel like again they have a young team, and I think this year is just really about, like I said, developing good habits.
Mm-hmm.
You took a lot of losses last year, and yeah, you learned some things in those losses, but now you want to win some of these games now. Some games where it'd be like, oh, they should lose this game, but they come out and win that game. They should win those games based off good habits, developing good habits, listening to the coach, understanding. Okay, yes, you could. Okay, you could probably create a really good shot with that off the dribble handle stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but you might want to make that extra pass. Make that extra pass and let your other guy get it going, and that can set up an easier basket for you down the road. Like little things like that they can develop as a team with their young core. They have the potential to be really good as well. I like Jalen Green as a player. He's a really good player, young, talented player. He's going to have to take that next step defensively. You want to be an all NBA player, you got to bring it on both ends of the court. You can't just lack on one side. So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing from him. Josh Christopher, big fan of both of those guys. Those guys were high school sensations, watching those guys in high school, now seeing them on the same team. It's great to see. It's great to see. So Alprin Shagun, another young player that they have, international guy. He really shows some talent, getting double doubles. So I like this team. They have some really nice young players. I think if they develop, they could be really good. We got Robert here. What's going on, Robert? I love the Grizz and John Moran is that dude, but if Zion is healthy and plays 60-plus games, the Pelicans win that division.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We already talked about the Pelicans a little bit, Robert, but yeah.
Yeah, I just think
don't
they
know.
match up well. They just match up well. Just look at the starting five. It's McCollum,
Ja.
Bi. No. Well, no, I'm just saying. Just for the Pelicans real fast. McCollum,
Okay.
Bi, Herbert Jones, Zion, and
Valanciunas.
Valanciunas. Right? Then for the Grizzlies, it's Ja, Bane, Dylan Brooks, Jared Jackson Jr., and Steven Adams. Or depending on who they're going up against, Brandon Clark. And then Jaren Jackson Jr. would be the 4 or 5.
You think Lofton might be a starter?
An
undrafted rookie.
If he continue to knock down his outside shot, yes.
I love Lofton, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but that was kind of my dark horse I was talking about earlier in the episode.
Yeah.
Was talking about him high during the summer leagues. Just his IQ is advanced more than anyone that was playing during the summer leagues. But let's get back with as far as Houston here. I'm going to have to blow up the screen so I can see him a little bit more.
Yeah, for the Rockets.
Yes. Eric Gordon, of course, 14 years. I feel like Favors has been playing for 20 years. He's only been he's been in the league for 12 years. So, I mean, they are mixing some veterans still with this team, even Harkless for 10 years. So they've got depth at the veterans depth. But, I don't know how much they'll be continuing to play these guys because it's going to be a younger team. Just learn by playing. Like, again, I think of the Knicks, how they are playing the vets and not letting their young guys play. I think Houston are not going to do that. I do think Eric Gordon's going to get their minutes, and Favors definitely going to get his minutes. But it's Jalen Green's team. It's Smith's team to be playing here. I don't see them winning too many games. I don't know if they get over 35 wins, but they are a good team. I actually think Ty Washington was a steal for them. Of course, yes, I'm a Kentucky fan, Rupp Arena, but he fell so far in the draft, and to still go to this team that got Smith at the early pick there, I like this. I really do. I think this future is going to be good for this Houston Rockets team as they go on in about 3 or 4 years. We're going to be looking at this team, I think, as far as we are looking at the Pistons last episode, of really checking out how some of these other draft picks that they're going to get in the next couple of years, because they still got quite a few draft picks to come up in the first and second rounds, or first rounds next year, I think it is, and really see where this team's got a future molding them to be relevant. So that's my thing. And again, once the season gets going on, some of these other players or other teams are being more contenders. Eric Gordon's a great trading piece. I mean, he's always going to be a good player that you can actually say, hey, you sit up in the corner, you're a knockdown guy over there, and you can play defense still, even in year 14. So even Derek Favors, he's always been a rebounding king back when he played. I want to say, didn't he play for he played for – yeah, I mean, but he used to play for the Nuggets quite a bit, didn't he? Or was it the Jazz?
He was on the Jazz.
Jazz, I think it was. But, I mean, he was averaging like 15 to 20 rebounds, it seemed like. So, I mean, he is a rebounding king like we were talking about earlier. You need that guy who can rebound. So, I think both those players – do you think – I'm going to ask you this. Do you think Gordon and Favors end the season on this team, or do you think they're traded?
I could see – I think teams are going to want to see how Gordon plays start the season, because you're looking at that 20 mil and then that 31 mil the following 2 years.
Right.
So that has teams a little hesitant. So you just want to see if he's healthy. And I think they have no problem in picking that up in 2024. 30 mil wouldn't look as, it wouldn't look as crazy to certain people. I think, he deserved it. He played himself to that contract. But I'm just saying, from a team perspective, that's how they would look at it.
Right.
But he's definitely could be a really good piece for them, for a contender, definitely for a contender. But he's going to have to play well early right away to become viable to some teams.
Of course, Robert actually said they need to trade Gordon in the comments. Didn't even see it yet, so that's kind of funny.
Yeah, Derek Favors. Derek Favors. Yeah, he could be a guy that could play on these type of teams with the younger teams, and kind of do his thing, play his role, or he could be on a contender. But I think Eric Gordon. I think he's played enough where he's been on some really good contending type teams where he stepped up. So we'll see if he gets that opportunity again.
Do you think they win over 30 games? And before you answer, let me look up and see what they won last year, because I didn't put in their schedule or their records from last year, and I apologize. I'm not as good as you at that.
You're good. They went
20-62 last year. So 20 games out of their 80 or 82 total, they won.
So can they get 10 wins better?
Do they want to win 10 games more?
I mean, it's just a lot. It's possible if Green has a breakout second year and Smith is good early and makes an impact early.
Mm-hmm. Somebody has to be bad.
Şengün, yeah, somebody has to be bad. But honestly, some of these bad teams that may not win a lot of games, they got some good young players. So down the road, if developed right and everything, it could work out to their favor. So,
because we got to think, Thunder are going to be bad. Like, they want to be bad, I think.
Yeah, they want to be. Yeah, but it's like my thing with Presti. It's like, okay, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I think he's done a really good job, but he drafted Westbrook, Harden, Ibaka, all these guys, and they didn't win one championship. He had all of those guys 23 and under. And they didn't win. They went to the finals one time, lost in 5, never went to the finals again. You trade Harden the year after you go to the finals because they didn't want to go over the luxury tax. So they keep him. And he's been, honestly, ever since the Paul George trade to the Clippers, when was that, 2019? Yeah.
Somewhere around there. It was before COVID. I know that.
2019, they've just been tanking. They've been tanking for 3 years. Now this is year 4 of them tanking, and everybody's just like, okay, this is what they're doing. Why?
But
why is that okay?
Well, I don't think they would really be total tank if Chet didn't get hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see that direction. Like, yeah, they have a lot of young guys, but it's like, who's the guy? Is it Giddey? Is it SGA?
Right.
Will it be Chet down the road?
But see, Giddey, I'm pretty sure he's going to be 19 now.
Yeah, they're all really young. Yeah. Yeah, Giddey's going to be like 19. I just think that they want that kid from France. Yeah, I mean, if they're able to get Wembanyama on top of getting Chet, it's just like, what's really going on? You know what I mean? Now that's when I'll start to raise some questions because, come on now. You're getting Wembanyama and you're getting Chet. What are we trying to, like, let's let another team, let the Knicks get Wembanyama.
There it is. You kept it so straight and for so long, and then you finally crave.
I mean, listen, I get supporting these small market teams, but giving them lottery picks every single, and they just tank it. Nobody, Adam Silver says nothing. OKC goes, 18 and 64,
but it's Adam the Silver only angle nothing. They can work. So I mean,
nah, man, you're supposed to compete. You're supposed to compete, man.
Robert, I tried my best to speak it into action, but it did not happen.
Yeah. Yeah, Rob, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, man. It is what it is. I like the team that we have. I'm just not a fan of the coach. That's it.
See, I think he's a good college coach. Like, the defense, play hard and all that stuff. Like, and I like Tom back when he played coached the Bulls when it was Butler,
Derrick Rose.
Rose, yeah. I'm trying to think of the tall white guy that was who?
Joakim Noah.
No. He played for Florida. I can't like him. It's no real. I think it was like 44. He was a huge dude that could shoot the 3, but he never could make it all of a sudden. Like, that was what he was known for, but he never could make it. Oh, yeah. It's a foreign name. I can't think of it, though.
Yeah, I forgot. I think Mirotic or something like that.
Mirotic, I think so. Good job. Look at you, man. But
it's a lot of 2K, man. Playing a lot of 2K. Scroll down these rosters. That's how I learn.
Oh, yeah. Listen, you play 2K 22 or 21?
I'm playing 23 right now.
Yeah. Okay, so you've already got 23? Okay.
Right, yes.
Because old dad might be playing it soon. Just letting you know.
23?
Might see you out there. Yeah, I may. A buddy of mine, this is how pitiful of a person he is. Hopefully he's not watching this, but he's got a couple of Xbox Live accounts in case he gets banned on one, he told me. And he actually has a second one that he said that he has the Game Pass with, and he just gave it to me. He said, here, just log in so you can play Apex with me sometime. I'm like, I really have Game Pass, like I can download all the games or play them on the cloud or whatever. So I've been playing some the show 22. I played Among Us with my son because he likes to watch that show. He's 5, and we can kind of play that game together. Played Gears the other day. Oh my goodness, I forgot how much I love Gears of War.
Yeah, Game Pass is really good. It's like Netflix with video games.
Yeah, but 23 is not on there, but it makes me kind of want to buy 2K23 now.
Yeah, it might get on there soon. Sometimes it takes a little while for the newer games to get on Game Pass, but yeah,
I may just wait then.
Yeah, it's a good game, but that's how I learned, man. That's how I learned all these players back in the day.
Nick, if I get 2K23, will you be on my team and let's go play on one of these sports?
I have PlayStation.
Oh, they're not crossovers?
Nah, brother.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
I have PlayStation.
I've been preaching but you got PS5?
Yeah. Now you're going to say, oh, man, I'm sorry. I got Xbox. That's what I meant.
No. I got PS5.
I got Xbox. I got Xbox.
Yeah. But nah, listen, man. It could happen. It could happen. Oh, you got the Series X?
No, man. I've got Xbox One in 2017.
Oh, I mean, I got the. Okay, but hey, whenever you get there, whenever you get that, we could definitely run, bro. Easy.
Okay.
Easy, bro. But yeah,
back to
23 is good.
Is it easier to score on this one? Because like I told you before, on the 21, I couldn't shoot worth anything. So I just kept calling for backdoor picks and getting basically a pass right under the goal, laying it up. Because I could not shoot.
It's definitely easier to score for sure.
Thank goodness. All right, let's move on to the next team. Let's see here. Who we want to go with next? Let's just go ahead and knock out the Spurs. Does that sound good?
Spurs, they're in an interesting spot. They were kind of similar to what I said on my show, the hard count. And it's kind of like the Patriots. It was like you see these 2 decades of dominance. You see all the success. The Lombardi trophies for them, and then now they're at a point where you're starting to see what mediocre looks like. And the Spurs are kind of in that same boat. You have to be lucky and draft a generational type talent like a Tim Duncan on top of already having David Robinson because he was out for the year. So you were able to get that first round pick and building a dynasty so early. And now, you build a championship. So now you're at a spot where now you're trying to find that next Tim Duncan. So now they have a bunch of guys, some really good guys, some guys that I think in the right spots could play well. I'm a fan of Keldon Johnson. I like his game. Devin Vassell out of Florida State was really solid. We can see if he's able to get some more playing time. They got Blake Wesley, Malachi Brannon, some of these young guys that they drafted. So yeah, it's kind of they're not that good from a talent standpoint. They're definitely, I would say, the least talented team in the division, even less talented than the Rockets. They have some. Again, I don't know. I just don't know who's going to be the guy. I don't think they have the guy yet. I think they're just kind of figuring out who might be here for the long haul. So they got a bunch of young guys, and they're just trying to figure out, okay, who's going to be here down the road, who might be somebody we need to move, things like that. So I don't see a lot of W's for the Spurs this year, but I am interested in some of these young guys that they do have on the squad, and I want to see how they progress. Definitely want to see how they progress.
I got to bring this comment in because it kind of breaks my heart. Robert says, when Nash screws it up in New Jersey, he thinks Pop's going to leave and go coach for the Nets if he doesn't retire. I hope that doesn't happen because Coach Pop is the Spurs. Like, that's like Bill Belichick going with the Patriots, going somewhere else and coaching. That's like him going to, I'm going to say, I don't know, who's a team that's good that's not been able to play well right now in the football. Raiders. I mean, they're kind of – yeah, and Belichick replacing them. Right. Like the Raiders, I thought was going to be good, but they're like 0-3, and they finally won this week. So almost like him going to the Raiders to finish out coaching. Like I just don't see Coach Popovich going anywhere else to coach. Now that's just me because I used to be a Spurs fan when they were dominant, just because of the way they did it. You know, a fan of the game because it was art watching them all work together like that. So. Personally, I don't want him to. It would almost be but Phil Jackson did it in a way, but actually he retired, then came out of retirement. So it's a little different. So I don't know.
Yeah, Phil Jackson's is a little different. It's a lot different.
Yeah, because he was retired and they basically begged him to come out of retirement. So,
well, yeah, Jerry Krause didn't want him, and he was like, "Listen, I'm not gonna keep playing. I'm not gonna keep staying for somewhere where they don't want me." And Jordan was like, "Obviously, I'm out. If Jackson's not gonna be here." Then the Lakers called, and the rest is history.
So I hope Pop don't leave. What do you feel on that? Do you think that is a chance?
It's tough to see right now. I would like to just see somebody else get an opportunity to get that job as opposed to just.
Which one, the Spurs or
the
Nets?
The Spurs after Nash. I don't think Nash is going to be there for the long haul. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of awkward and weird. Like KD really said in offseason, either fire him or I'm gone. Like so, it's like that's a weird dynamic over there right now. Listen, they're talented. I think they could play well. Couldn't they put their egos aside and have a hell of a season? Yeah,
absolutely. If they're winning, but if they start losing, it's going to explode.
It's definitely going to be different. So, I just feel like for Pop, I just like to see Pop just coach, stay with the Spurs, and hopefully maybe it's before his last year or something like that. They find that superstar guy, and he could coach him for a couple of years, and then ride off in the sunset. Mm-hmm. That's the perfect situation. Is it going to happen that way? I don't think so.
If Pop were to retire, let's say that, or take another job, who would you like to see there? Robert said he'd like to see Mark Jackson get another shot. I don't think Mark Jackson would take another shot. I think he had a shot. I feel like he kind of got done dirty. I don't think he wants to go back in it. He's kind of happy where he's at now. You know, like I can critique every coach now and still stay here and make millions of dollars. Do you think Tim Couch could be a candidate where he did his little stint as an assistant coach? Tim Couch, I said Tim Duncan. Sorry, was Tim talking Duncan? About him earlier. Yeah,
for the Nets.
No, for Spurs. I'm talking about replacing.
No, I think Mark Jackson would take the Nets job.
Okay. Well, that would be great, I think, because that would give him his chance to win. I'm cool with that part of it. Okay,
he'd probably be a type to take the Nets job. For the Spurs, I think they go a younger head coach. They get a younger head coach in there and have them with the young team.
Tony Parker.
I don't know if that's what he wants to do. I know Tim Duncan was for a little bit before the pandemic, and then after the pandemic, he's kind of just went back to chilling. So I don't know if he still wants to do that.
I think that woman who was coaching there, female coach that just won it with the WNBA,
Maggie Hammond.
I think that would be, I think, the perfect fit for her there.
I mean, listen, it'd be historical for sure. It'd be something that has never been done. I don't know if it's going to happen. I think right now, she did a great job with the Aces, winning the championship her first year as a head coach. I know they have a lot of talent on that team, but it doesn't mean just because you have the talent doesn't guarantee you a championship. You still got to go out there, earn it, execute, make the plays, make everything happen. So she's a great coach. I don't know if that's going to happen right now, but but just for the Spurs, again, it's just finding who's going to be those young guys that's going to be there for the future when they get that guy. And right now they just don't have that guy.
Yeah, I feel like looking at this roster, McDermott, I mean, even Josh Richardson, it's a lot of just fill-in people. It's almost like I almost want to say it's a numb roster. Like it's just a numb season.
Yeah, it's role players getting
minutes,
started minutes, even though they're not starters, and then you got a bunch of young guys.
Yeah,
that's what their team is. That's what their team is, literally. Like, McDermott, Richardson, those guys wouldn't get minutes on like quality teams. They'd get role player minutes, but now they could get starter minutes because they got a bunch of young guys on their team. So they should be baking them right now in practice. If not, then that's good. That means you got a solid young core.
All right, yeah.
But we'll see what happens. Jeremy Shohan has a lot of potential. Like I said, Malachi Brennan, Blake Wesley. Those are guys I'm looking at. Josh Primo. No DeJounte Murray there now. So it's a lot of opportunities, a lot of minutes for these guys that I'm looking at on the screen right now for their roster. A lot of minutes to be had. Do what you have to do out in the practice and training camp, and you're going to be on that spotlight and be a starting Spur. Any one of these guys.
Yeah, like
lineup. Nobody's deprived of not getting the starting lineup.
And that's the thing. Like, I'm looking at some of these guys that are on 1 or 2 year deal that are cheap. Honestly, you bust your butt in practice this year. You work hard on defense, improve yourself in the practice. Like you may get a couple years extension just because you proved yourself and get an opportunity to play this year. May end up getting a couple of contracts actually that last some. So that's what I would be thinking if I were them this year. Like Isaiah down here, I guess is it Roby?
Isaiah Roby, yeah.
Okay. Like, I mean, he's $1.9 million for the next 2 years. Like, if he were to go in here, make some noise, and somehow cut into a 20-minute average play-in time and get 15 and 10. I'm just throwing out numbers here, guys. Calm down.
No, yeah.
And be like, okay, like maybe he's showing some potential in his 3rd, 4th year here. Maybe this could be something you could work with and make him a role player person on a different team and get him a contract. So, I mean, yeah, Spurs, there's really not much to talk about. Just really, you got to have that team on there, I guess. And I hate to because Spurs have such a history. But I do like some of the young guys. Johnson, again, like you said, I'm really high to see what he does this year. He's the one that played for Tennessee, right?
Which Johnson?
Keldon Johnson.
Didn't he go to Kentucky, right?
There was a Keldon Johnson that played with Kentucky, and then there was like a Kevon Johnson that played for Tennessee same year. Wasn't for sure which one. Okay.
Keldon Johnson went to Kentucky.
Okay, yeah. So that is that is.
Yeah, I pretty know for a fact. Yeah.
Okay. So that's who I thought it was, but I didn't want to be the Kentucky homer, so I was wanting to say it was the Tennessee guy. Primo.
Well, listen, this is a good opportunity. He could be one of those guys to where he could be that he could stay there for them if they, try to get to that Wembanyama sweepstakes. That's obviously what they want to do. It makes the most sense. They're already trying to compare him to Tim. So I think it'd be good for the Spurs. It'd be good for the NBA, of course. But we'll see. But Keldon Johnson could be one of those guys that stays there for the long haul.
For the
knockdown shooters, play some power forward at times. Can play defense, go to the basket. He's a versatile young guy. They've kind of given him opportunities here and there, and now he's on a spot where he could, he's going to get a lot of minutes, and he should be able to put up some good numbers as he continues to progress and get better. And then you just hope, again, they strike gold in the draft next year and then move on from there.
I just want to ask you, since you said strike gold, do you think they're a gold player away with some of these role players that they could be making somewhat?
Not a gold, not one player, but if you get that key piece, you can see your future better.
Okay.
as opposed to like not having a guy, and not really understanding. It's just back to square one, you know, every
I'm
single
with
year
you on there.
until you get that guy. So even though like yeah, say if you get like Wembanyama, he turns out to be great. It doesn't mean the Spurs are gonna go to the playoffs next year. But it means that okay, they have a guy where it's like they develop, they get the right pieces around him in a couple years or so.
Mm-hmm.
You could see something. You could see a future where it's successful. Um, so
Because one
that
thing, I don't even really see like trade pieces like to try to get picks back. I mean, McDermott, if he plays good, hits a couple. I mean,
they're gonna
high
have to
percentage from.
they're gonna have to play to become tradable.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta play. You gotta play. You gotta play yourself to get. You gotta play yourself to that value sometimes.
Right.
Just like you play. Just like you play that way to get an extension.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
It can also help you get traded and still get that extension just on another team. So like, all these guys got to ball out. It's a lot of minutes. A lot of minutes to be. Yo, what's good, brother? A lot of
Nothing
minutes
gets
to be
by
had.
Anthony.
It's a lot of minutes for these guys. Make the most of it, and we'll see what's
And
up.
that's all you can really say about this Spurs team is really the opportunities are like limitless with this team. You can be playing to get in a starting role. You can be playing to just get extra minutes. You can be playing to be like 6th man of the year on this team, or you could just be playing to be getting that contract extension to where you get traded value. So that's about all we can really say with this Spurs team. And honestly, I'm about to bore myself talking about them on that. So let's go on to the real team who I want to talk about. And it's nothing what you think about, too. The Memphis Grizzlies, who were the second best team in the West last year. Let me pull up the record real quick. They were 56-26 last year. And, of course, that was with and without Ja for a good portions both times. I think they were, 20-2 without Ja at one point. It seemed like they went on.
Yeah, it was a high win-loss record. I don't know off the top of hand, but it was really good.
So they played well without Ja. They played great with Ja. They've had a couple good picks. I haven't pulled. I still got this up here. Let me just go here and do it. So I want to go ahead and get on with you. What do you think of the Grizzlies? What are we expecting for them as we go ahead and use this no trade clause website again? Love it so much, by the way.
Shout out, no trade clause. I look at the Grizzlies, and last year they played well. They shocked a lot of people. I didn't personally, to start the season last year, I didn't think that roster was a 56-win roster.
Absolutely not.
But they proved me wrong, and they played great basketball. Ja Morant played like an MVP last year throughout the entire season, and they played well in his absence as well, like you just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So, they were a really, well, close-knit team. They did a great job of executing, buying into what Taylor Jenkins is preaching on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. I still feel like they're one wing player away from becoming a game-changing type roster. That you have Ja, you have Bane, Jared Jackson Jr. They need one more wing piece, a versatile wing that can knock like that. That could be really good. If they could get a guy like that in their starting lineup, it would change the landscape. I just think they're missing. No, way better than
I know. It depends on how he plays. No,
like if they could get. I don't know. I mean, like a Jaylen Brown, what I'm saying, young guy like that could come in. They could
okay. You talk. Okay.
Can it be Zaire Williams? Can he be that guy? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just feel like they need that wing player. That would change everything for them because Ja obviously wants to still go to the basket. He's worked on his shot. He's gonna have to continue to work on his shot, outside shot, because they're gonna sag off him. So those are gonna be layups for him, because he's going to get pretty much practice shots because you have to sag off him. So I'm sure he's working on that, and he's going to continue to get better. I was hoping Jared Jackson Jr. would be that second option for them. But sometimes he shows flashes, then there's other moments where he doesn't. So I'm not sure if he's going to be that guy for the Grizzlies. That's why I feel like they need that second piece. And if he's a third piece, I think that's probably where he fits out as a third option. And then Bane.
Look how cheap this team is. Financially, let me say it that way. I mean, you just referred to Triple J as you thought would be the second option. He's the highest paid player this year. You've got Ja Morant on a rookie contract still for this year. Of course, next year he's due $33 million.
This is why I feel like they need to make a trade for a guy.
I mean, definitely. I mean, you need to go all in now because, I mean, Bane this is his second year, right? Or this will be his third year.
This is year 3. Yeah.
He didn't really have a sophomore year slump. If anything, he blossomed even more. He made a bigger leap forward. I thought he was in a run for most improved player, but instead Ja gets it. Who's the All-Star, which makes no sense. And I kind of interrupted you. I know you was kind of still going on this. So yeah, I mean they've got a lot of these team players that are good. But, yeah, they almost need a C.J. McCollum, someone who can help Ja Morant take over the game. I'll say it like that, I guess, who can be a scorer wing player like that. Okay, I'm with you totally now that I'm kind of speaking. I totally get what you're saying now. So I'll let you go back to talking and quit being rude, quit being Matt-esque here.
You're good, man. But, yeah, that's how I felt about the Grizzlies for the last few years, honestly. And when that happens, it's a game changer for that roster, for that organization. Mm-hmm. For right now, I still like in a 7-game series, I still like the Pelicans, and I still like the Timberwolves.
Ooh, the Timberwolves.
Yeah, I feel like they had an opportunity to definitely shock the world and beat the Grizzlies, but the Grizzlies were more poised and had more discipline. Simple as that. And they were able to get through that series. I think the Pelicans, they have the talent to beat the Grizzlies 4 times. It's not going to be easy, but they have the talent. I don't think they have anybody that could guard Zion. Jerry Jackson Jr. is a good player. He can't guard Zion.
Not physical enough. And
then B.I., they don't have anybody that could guard B.I. And nobody could guard Ja, but McCollum is not a easy night, you know what I mean? For Ja defensively. You're gonna have to work on that end. Herb Jones is probably the spot up, but once he starts developing his game, starts putting the ball on the floor, like a McCall Bridges, game over. If he becomes McCall Bridges, just at minimum, his career McCall Bridges with that squad. But if he becomes better than that, we're looking at, something crazy in New Orleans, which would be a great story, honestly.
Oh, absolutely.
It'd be a great
but
story.
I'm going to go ahead and say this. Keep an eye out this year for Kenneth Lofton Jr. down there. Kenny Lofton is a two-way player, which in here doesn't even show what he's making this year, but next year he's making the $1.7 million. I think he has a chance to be an undrafted player who has a chance to win Rookie of the Year this year. I really think he's going to take the league by storm when he comes in. Now, how much he can do as far as guarding like a Zion Williamson or something like that, I don't know. But as far as X's and O's on the offensive side, you can actually run an offense at like a high flex offense with the big man who has good passing skills. So you can really run an offense through Lofton at that level. He could be – well, I don't even want to say that because when I say names, you think I'm referring to that they're in that caliber range. I'm just saying.
Where are you going with this one, man?
I'm just going to say he's kind of a Bam style where he can catch the ball and still make the good passes or score better. He's got a better shot than Bam.
So he has better post moves than Bam.
Absolutely. But see, I don't think he is as good of a defender on the other end as Bam.
No.
But I'm just saying, like, as a big man, like, he's got moves, and he can see the floor, and he can pass well. If they ran the offense through Bam a little bit more on Miami, he's a good passer. Now, he doesn't have the post-up moves and drop steps and all that stuff. So I'm high on Kenny Lofton this year. Now, will he start? I don't think so. But I do think he's going to get a lot of minutes this year. You heard it here first on Count the Bucket from Michael Lawson that Kenny Lofton Jr. could possibly be Rookie of the Year, undrafted rookie of the year.
He's very talented. I've been a fan when he was at Louisiana Tech, playing well over there. He's a talented basketball player. One, he just has to continue to work on his outside shot. If he's able to get his outside shot down, he could be a scary player because he does have the post moves. He reminds me of Draymond, but a better shooter, probably not as good a defender. But when Draymond came out of college, not as the IQ defensively is definitely different.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna have to improve. He's gonna have to improve in that area as well. It's gonna be a process. It's gonna be a process for him. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, fun fact: played against I played in the Kentucky State tournament with his dad. Not with on the same team. His dad was in the tournament too. We didn't go against each other because his dad would have smoked us by himself. But, just throwing that out there.
Okay.
Might be one of the reasons why I'm kind of high on this kid because his dad was a phenomenal player. It makes me so mad because Kentucky didn't really even look at him. Then he went to Tennessee and pretty much smoked us. So, yeah, the IQ is in the genes for sure. Like this guy, I don't know how he went undrafted. Of course, I don't know how he went to a small college like he did, but
I don't know. He was if you look at the USA under 19, he was number one option over Chet, over Jaden Ivey.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, when you see him,
they were going to him. Ivey
really?
Ivey would get his fast breaks. Chet would do his thing.
Do you think it's because when you look at him? I mean, let's be honest. When you look at him, he looks a little chubby. Like, do you think that recruits, scouts, and stuff seen that and be like, oh, well, he'll probably never be muscle toned or anything like that, and just kind of say, well, we're not even going to give him a chance. And now it's basically
I don't know why they would think that. He's still a young guy. He's still a young guy. You put him in our system and our training staff, our strength and conditioning crew, get him right. If he wants to be great, he'll make the sacrifices
absolutely
to get to that point. He has the talent. I agree. If he works on his outside shot, he could be a player. But if he works on his outside shot, he can be good for them. And honestly, again, it's not like they have a solidified bucket backup power forward on the team where like no one can get their spot ran. So he has an opportunity to make some noise, and I'm definitely rooting for his success because he does have an old school traditional type game.
Yes, sir.
He has that back to the basket, face up type game. He knows how to get to his spots. Honestly, Zion plays the same way, but we always just look at the dunks. But the way to look at where Zion plays, he does the same thing. He does the quick post moves, the quick spins, getting right to that left hand, and he's left-handed, so it's tough to stop him.
Maybe that's it too. I love left-handed people.
He could be a fun player if used the right way.
Yep.
And I think he went to a great team. I wanted the Knicks to just,
of course, the Knicks.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like, listen, bro.
I wanted the Heat.
He has better post moves than a lot of players in the NBA right now. Like legit, like quality guys. He has better.
He knows he's chubby a little bit. He knows how to use that to his advantage. Not gonna lie. I mean, obviously, I'm overweight. Played ball yesterday.
The NBA is about. He has strength too coming in there.
Right.
Off the rip. He's not like some of these other young guys where they have to get stronger. He's already strong, so he can use that for his advantage.
Like I was playing ball yesterday at our church with a bunch of guys, and there's two guys who can jump. They're 19 to 20. They're in college. They can jump and easily dunk the ball with a smaller ball. So like obviously they can jump higher than me. I can barely touch the net, right? I use my body correctly, right? So when it comes off the rim, I've got my ground solid and I push them out of the way. And I probably got about 20 rebounds. There's one time one of the players is like, how did he get the ball? Well, I positioned myself right, got a high IQ, and I moved the guys around where I knew their height and their advantage and their jumping skills wouldn't have put them anywhere. We always I put them in jail. If your listeners know what that is in rebounding, Nick or CJ, have you ever heard it called jail? Putting anyone in jail when you rebound or even on defense?
Yeah, like I always heard as you locking somebody up. Like
no, not even that. As far as that, put them in jail is you put them underneath the hoop basically because they can't jump out to block you if they're trying to do that because they're under the goal, or they can't jump out from the goal to get a rebound. So you basically put them in the jail is what we always said, where they can't do anything. They're basically isolated there. So when they were trying to box me out or so, you just kind of shove them a little bit over there where when the ball comes off, I don't have a vertical. The ball can still come to me because he can't jump to get it. And you position yourself. Like Lofton, you can watch him and see where he uses his body correctly, and he'll lean that way where he can use his outside hand to lay it in. And it's beautiful to see these big guys use that. So kudos to Hefties.
Yeah, man. He was taught the right way. That's great teaching. Great teaching. And again, it's a lost art right now, and it's going to work for him as long as he continues to get the opportunities. But again, like I said, he's going to have to work on his outside shot. If he can get to like 38% from three on top of what he could do right now, could be a game changer. And he got to play defensive. He has to tone up a little bit to be more versatile defensively because they will just call out for him on the pick and roll. Yo, who got Lofton? Yo, screen.
Come set a pick.
Yeah, so if he's not moving his feet and being shifty and showing effort on that end, that'll ultimately determine what he's going to be.
Right.
Is he?
That's the thing.
Can he going to be a backup for them, or if down the road if he really develops, he could be a starter. Quality type, closing lineup type. He could be in closing lineup because he could get a bucket, and that's what
in this new era of basketball, pick and roll, just going with what you say, I want to kind of debate this with you. Is Lofton Lofton, sorry if you watch this. I love you, actually. I want you to come on the show. I think you'd be fun to talk with. But I'm just using you as an example here. Is a player like Lofton really a hindrance for the team because he may be a little slow on the defensive side? Or is he not really a liability? Because hear me out here. If you set a pick and roll with me, let me just use me because I'm a hefty guy and I'm not playing defense. I'm just going to hedge the three or hedge the pick guy and make you either go way around me or give you up a layup. I may have help defense that comes down there and challenge it, or I'll just give you a two because I already read one stat. We're shooting 40 or 30 to 43s in a game. Like it's almost, I'd rather have a 3 shot on my side and let you shoot a 2 now, right? So is that really a situation now where, if you shoot a 2, it's okay?
Yeah, I mean, listen, that just really just depends on what type of scheme that your team puts out there. I'm setting the screen. I'm hedging. If I'm the big man, I'm trying to hedge, try to avoid that 3, and just hope I got the right rotations behind me. And then if I got to slide to the corner where the corner slides to the paint to pick up the roll,
right?
Then we're good to go. Then we'll just work back. And then once the ball moves, we can rotate back to where we were originally.
Right.
And then whatever, just hands, stay in front of the man, 24 seconds, box out, like you said, positioning. And then it's time to go play offense.
Because I mean, technically, as a big man, I'm not really worried about being taken to the hole anymore because you're supposed to take me. All I'm really worried about is contesting a 3-point shot to make that percentage go down. If you go to the hole, the rotation for that 3-point kick out should be there to kind of slow it down because the far corner should be the help, and then the weak far corner should drop down to the corner if the rotation is right. So, I mean, if I just kind of sit down in my stance with a hand up, waiting for you to elevate your 3 and just stay on that, sit on the 3, I mean, if you blow by me, big whoop. I'm going to go ahead and go to that weak side to where I'm ready for all the rotations and I'm already there, right?
Right.
So, I mean, technically, in a way, maybe it's okay to have those people out there in this new era.
No, listen, I'm not. I agree. Like I said, I'm a fan of his style. And
that's crazy to even say because that's basically saying, hey, I'm going to give up a layup But in today's era, it's fine because we're going to shoot a three on the other end and get an extra point, I can't stand to even almost say that because I'm so old school, but that's kind of how it's turned into now, right?
Yeah, that's the way they're trying to transition to, but that style is still very relevant and it's still very important in today's game. And I just feel like at the end of the day, you play how you play, and you just gotta hope you have the coaching staff that trusts you to continue to do your thing and try to maximize every opportunity possible. And I think right now for him, he played well in that preseason game. I think he had like 15 and 7, something like that.
Okay, awesome.
So yeah, baby steps for him. Ja, again, working on his shot. I want to see Bane take that next step. Dylan Brooks kind of struggled towards the end of the season. He was hurt. We had some injuries. To see if he could bounce back and have a better season this year. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to for this team. I think they're going to be right up there at the top of the West again, and they're looking at it as if Ja's healthy, we had a good chance of being Golden State. So they just have to make sure they keep the details fine-tuned, and I think they're going to be good. But there's definitely going to be some more challenges now that that wasn't there last year. So I got to lock in.
Just go through his stat real quick because I'm high on him, obviously. 17 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He was 6 of 8 from the field goal, 1 of 2 from 3-point line, 4 or 5 from the free throw. 1 steal, 3 turnovers, 2 personal fouls. Plus 5 in the plus or minus. So, I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty great, man. It's pretty great. The more opportunities he gets, the better.
Absolutely. Well, we're an hour and 20 minutes into it. We've talked about all of our teams. Do we want to do a trivia? Do you have one pulled up, or do we want to go ahead and just call it quits?
Yeah, no trivia tonight, guys. Again, we appreciate everybody that's been tuning in, rocking with us. It's been great. It's been great. And we just keeping it going, man. The season's right around the corner. Media Day was last week. It was last week. A lot of teams introducing themselves, getting acclimated. So that's just giving us an opportunity and showing us that the A is right around the corner. So it's literally this month in a couple weeks.
Absolutely.
So I can't wait to get into that, talk about these games, and see who's going to be at the top of each conference.
Absolutely. Glad the games are being played again. Still yet to be able to watch one. My computer or my Fire Stick, my illegal way of watching, wasn't working for me today. But hopefully we'll get it back working soon. But before we sign off, let me bring this in here, guys. Go to thejavaseeds.com and get 20% off your purchase with our promo code BUCKET. And that is your bag of Java Seeds, and that is 2 cups of coffee in with the seeds, the sunflower seeds that you will get. And again, that is thejavaseeds.com, and use promo code BUCKET, and you will get 20% off your complete order. And we do appreciate our sponsorship through the Java Seeds. They reached out to me again on Instagram, just kind of seeing how things are going. I love the relationship we're building there. So go check out their website. Again, it's just thejavaseeds.com, and everything you look through there, everything you order on one order, use promo code BUCKET, and you'll get 20% off of that. So with that being said, CJ, why don't you tell where everybody can find you at?
Yes, sir. Linktree.com/CJames9. I got an opportunity to watch this Nets Sixer game, so definitely going to watch that later for you guys and see what's up and see what happened in the squad. But yeah, Linktree.com/CJames9. Find everything that I'm working on. Twitter, CJames9_. Talking about the games, NFL, NBA, the hard count, all things NFL tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Eastern time.
Of course, you can find us with Twitter at CountBucketUSN. Myself personally is MDLawson00. You can pretty much find me on any social media with that. In my bio, in the link is my Linktree. Oh, it is Linktree. Linked in because I've been editing that a little bit. But my link tree with all the information I have going on with there. Of course, like we said at the beginning of the show, if you haven't subscribed to our podcast, please go out there and subscribe. Give us a 5-star rating because that's what we deserve. Let's just be honest. Anything else, you're shorting yourself. And follow us on all those things. Turn on the notifications with our YouTube channel to get a notification when we go live. And do everything you can to share our content with everyone because you guys love us. Let's just be honest. All right. But until we see you guys again, and again, Florida people out there, we are praying for you guys. Hope everything is going good for you all. If we can help in any way, let us know. And Nick, we missed you today. Hopefully your internet and everything is back next week.
Yes.
In honor of you, Nick, deuces.
Deuces. See you guys next week.